him at the Internal Auditors Forum in Mombasa, and he was presenting on what we need to be talking about. I realized Murang'a is way ahead. If we could just replicate what happens in Murang'a County, across county, especially in my county, Trans Nzoia, it will be transformational. So anyway, so I really pray that, I don't know who doesn't know Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. Kuna mtu amjui? Nani ajui Murang'a County iko wapi? So it gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, as we set up the presentation of His Excellency. Let me just introduce him very briefly. He is currently the governor of Murang'a County. And we prophesy that he'll be a two-term governor. You know, the things that he has done in that county, they will not be wise not to give him another two-term. At least they are not like another county I know where they always have one-term county governor. But Murang'a County had the first guy for two terms, and now His Excellency is here for the first term. He's a lawyer by profession, and he holds a PhD in law from the University of Nairobi, and that's why it's called Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. His political career includes serving as a senator for Murang'a County from 2017 to 2022, and of course he was a member of parliament before that, and from 2013 to 2017. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm really waiting for the room to fill up. I wish the people at the back could come in, or front. We need to fill up the room. It's not easy to get His Excellency to be here, and we must take full advantage of the time that he'll be with us, really to share best practice on what's happening in Murang'a County, and now the rest of us can go and agitate for our own counties to evolve and take what is being done in Murang'a County, and you'll see it for yourself, because I saw it for myself when I known a bit of it, but I got to hear about it when we were in Mombasa. So without much ado, let me invite His Excellency to come and take the stage. I'm hoping that his presentation is up. Welcome. Let's appreciate His Excellency.
Jesus had how many disciples?
How many? How many Christians do we have now in the world? How many? 3 billion. And Jesus was on this earth how many years ago? 2,000 years ago. So never worry. Anytime you go to an audience, even if you find 5 people, proceed. They are going to tell the rest. They are going to tell the rest. So never wait for anyone. Because as we have a saying in my community that the son does not wait for the king. So you just proceed. But as we wait for them to put up the presentation, maybe I can ask some few questions here to see whether we are alert. Who has the mic? Who has the mic? Okay, so if you have the mic and we are waiting for the presentation to be up, and my question is, number one, my question is, now, this generation, go back 100 years ago. When do you think the level of violence, whether domestically, whether internationally, has gone up? Are we living in more a violent world, or our ancestors 100 years ago or 200 years ago, they were living in more violent world? Who can answer that? Pick up your... Yes? No, ask chairman. Let's chairman be the first one to answer. Are we more peaceful or... no, just say it.
Me, I know the answer, but I think...
let me ask another one. Yeah. Who can answer? There. Say your name.
My name is James from Paniel, United.
The world was more violent and violent that time than now. Another one?
Who can attempt? Are we living in a more violent world, or were our ancestors living in a more violent, including
Violence at home.
I think in adult learning, all answers are correct. So my, my name is Fidel Mwema. I think it was more violent then. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we hear him there.
Your Excellency, at the back.
Okay. No, there's this brother here. Yes.
Andrew Ashana is my name.
I think previously it was ignored, so we didn't have the statistic, but today we are recognizing it more.
Okay, no, we do have historians,
Who record things, even that other time. The second question, as we wait for them to be ready, is when do you think people are living more years, life expectancy? Is it higher now, or is it lower now? Where next? Then.
My name is Dan Kitwa from Makweni.
I think now life is more longer than it was before.
People are living longer.
Yes.
There?
From behind there? Yes, no, the lady.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so my name is Edna. I think long time people lived longer because of the choices that they made and activities that they were engaged in. Right now it's a bit sedentary. We live less long.
Okay, thank you. The life expectancy has gone down.
Behind, yes, the next lady there.
Now, if we consider examples like Methuselah and Abraham and David, I think they lived longer. Because one, technology did not make them lazy. These days people just sit around. And there was a lot of movement. You can imagine the children of Israel walked 40 years. And we are told their legs were not tired. So,
Who else? Yeah. Who else? Behind, yes. DJ, there we are waiting, please.
We are waiting for the presentation.
Sheila, from Kirinyaga County. I believe that people in the past lived longer. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we
do a poll. How many believe our ancestors live longer? Mikonoju. How many believe?
By the way, when you mechukua mkono, you are wrong.
Life expectancy has almost doubled. Our people used to live about 40 years, 30 years that time. Now we are now on average in the world headed towards 80. So anyone saying that that we are now living less, you are wrong. Medicine had not developed as it has developed now. Things like euthanasia were not there, all those things. And therefore, advances in medicine has enabled humans to live longer. So thank you for being wrong. The second one was, are we more violent or less violent? Who believe we are now more violent? Mikonoju, more violent? Less violent? Those who have said less violent are right. That time, people used to fight day in, day out. In form of both domestic violence was legitimized, wife beating. At a communal level, we used to fight community A against community B. At state level, states used to fight so much. Those countries that had states. Then the final one, as see whether we are ready with the presentation. Between 0 and 100, how many nines are there? Between 0 and 100, how many nines? Tisa, well, don't Google, Don't Google. Don't Google. Yes, I can. Who can Who guess? How many? Yes, nani ako na microphone? Tuanze na mheshimiwa hapa. Yes, who has come? The one with the microphone, please. How many? Haya, 19. Haya, patia mheshimiwa hapa. How many? Haya, next chairman. No, the lady. Ask the lady then. The lady.
20
times.
Else?
20 times.
20? Yes, there. How many believe there are 10? Mikono juu. How many believe there are 11? Mikono juu. How many believe there are 19? Mikono juu. How many believe there are 20? Mikono juu. Yes, the answer is 20. Do you count? 9, 19, 29, 39, 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. Yeah, those are 20. So, yes, I don't know that if you are ready. Okay, maybe let me ask the final one as we wait for them. Is Kenya is currently having a population of 50 million. Who supports him? Who disagrees with him? Who thinks the population will be higher? Yes, we hear her. Yes, she thinks the population. Yes.
Yes, I was just adding one more point to what he has said. Watu wataendelea kufa, Lord forbid. So when you add that, and then you add watu hawaoi sana na hawazai sana, then we may not multiply as such.
Next there. Yes?
The population will increase.
Why?
People are being born every day.
Yeah, she has a point. Yes, there, in the middle. In the middle. State your name and where you come from.
So, my name is Zipporah Dhambo. I'm coming from Central Bank of Kenya. So, for me, I think, of course, will not be 30 million, but also will not be 90. Because even when you look from our masters, the people we copy from, our colonialists, they go down in terms of population because of maybe this family planning maneno. But in terms of going so down, it may not go that down.
So you yes there?
I believe as a young person, my name is Dan Kitwa. I believe as a young person that our population will almost double. Reason being, the argument is that we are not marrying. But at the end of the day, people are getting kids, as many as possible. Then the other thing, you know, our lives have been changing and they'll continue changing. So people's lives will be moving upwards. So people will be able to have bigger families. Middle class will increase. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the answer to that is every likelihood will be Kenya will be 30 million by the next 100 years. The projections are that by the year 2070 or thereabout, we shall reach our peak population. Then we start on a downward trend, which is very hard to reverse. Reason being of one is women are getting children late. The rate of marriage is declining. And like now where I come from, Muranga, our population growth per annum is 1.2%. That's about 30,000 people every year. There are some schools we are now closing up because we don't have people. And the more people urbanize, the rate of urbanization will have reached the peak. And when people urbanize, they generally tend to have smaller families. So therefore, maybe we are the last humans in this world. So we enjoy ourselves. So allow me now to go to the speech. Please, we proceed. So my speech is I will dwell on 3 issues only. The first issue is basically what do we do as Muranga County? What are the programs we do? Because we came here to discuss about procurement, but you can't procure without first clarifying what are your agenda, what is it that you do, what are your flagships. So once you identify that, then you go to automation. Generally, then I will then drill to automation relating to procurement because that's what it relates to this audience. And in procurement, it will be mainly 2 forms of digital automation. One, EGP, because Muranga, we have decided as a matter of policy to go towards EGP. Then also, we have what we call Facility Improvement Fund. A law was enacted by the National Assembly and the Senate, decreeing money from health sector should not be channeled to the center, that is to the county treasury. It is retained at hospitals level, but they have to procure. So Muranga automated that procurement at that level. Then thereafter, I will give you some chance to ask some few questions. So we start with the first point about what are our main programs. And the first program is a program where we give medical insurance to poor citizens. Those people cannot afford to pay out-of-pocket expenditure for medical insurance. So in short, we pay either NHIF or now SHA, and then we give them a list of the poor people, the indigents. There are several benefits they get, including cover, both inpatient and outpatient. Also, last expense, a component where if you're in this program and you pass on, your dependents, we pay them 100,000 last expense. And we have also what we call a wedding gift. If you're in this program and you decide to marry in a church, we give you a small package of 10K. If you have a child, you get 10K also. And if you pass on and you leave children in high school, we not only give you the 100,000, but also we add 20,000 for fees. But that is provided by a private insurance company because SHA no longer has what we call enhanced medical cover on that small component, but the rest is SHA provided. The other one is telemedicine. The Murang'a County put internet in the 160 medical facilities. After we did that, we realized people with chronic ailments, they come all the way from the forest to Murang'a Level 5, the main hospital, to seek specialized health care. So to stop that, we came up with the idea of digital health service delivery. So you go to a certain designated medical facility at the rural area. There are about 35, at least one per ward. Then you appear before a screen. Then a doctor who is in a certain medical hub treats you digitally. And then you don't have to travel to Murang'a Level 5. Number 3 on healthcare, through some partnership with some private entity, we came up with a mobile dialysis unit that moves, because you see, dialysis services are currently mainly in Murang'a Level 5. So we got this truck that moves in 3 medical facilities, offering that service through mobile means. Also, expansion of hospital facilities. Allow me now to go next to agriculture. Next, which is now in agriculture, we came up with the idea of giving subsidy support, input support to mango and milk farmers. But we don't buy things and give them, no. We created a mobile wallet where people go to selected shops and agrovets, they redeem those goods. So in short, we send the money in electronic manner. Then if you are a member of this program, you go digitally and redeem, let's say animal salt, even feeds. And that way, it's more transparent and better. The other one is the idea of, next, is the idea of provision of contract farming with East African breweries for sorghum, distribution of certified maize and fertilizer to our small-scale maize farmers. On education, counties deal with early childhood education. So Murang'a County provides free meal every day to about 40,000 ECD learners. Then we have another program called Community Projects. This one mainly is about renovating our ECDs. Maybe you can play a video that can show you the kind of infrastructure we've found there that shows how our ECDs were before and how they do this program called Community Projects. But as we wait for that, there's another program of bursaries. If you are a student in Murang'a and you are in day school, and why day school? We believe day schools is where poor students go. So we came up with this idea that we do not want subjectivity that is brought by committees when they are vetting children. So let us support anyone who is in this school, and you're number 1 to number 10 automatically. So the other programs are mainly in infrastructure. The idea of, you see, markets, they tend to be muddy. So we came up with the idea of putting cabros and tarmacs, targeting our markets. Tarmac is very expensive. I think 1 kilometer of tarmac costs about, on average, using the Kenha Kura rates, it's about 50 million, but we decided we can do it. So we just target the markets areas. We call it Smart City Program. Because of putting internet is quite expensive. We came up with the idea that to stabilize power, let's solarize our medical facilities. So we have done almost 50% of all our medical facilities. They are on solar. The other one is youth. You know, this country has a problem of youth unemployment. So the county came up with the idea that if you are a young person and you have no job, we will establish an entity called Murang'a Youth Service. So we usually announce 2 months once, young people to congregate at a chief's camp. So we put a ballot, written yes and no. If you pick yes, we give you work to go and clean our towns. So you go cleaning our towns. Every day we pay you 400 shilling. But 100 doesn't belong to you. It's for your parent who won't work. After you clean our towns, then after 2 months, we take you to our village polytechnic. You learn a skill. Some become tailors, other become saloonists, other carpentry. Then we pay for you NITA examination, grade 3 tests. If you pass, we give you 15,000 grant. You establish work. One cohort does it, then another one comes in. Then finally, the county is planning some industrialization agenda, which is we have learned that we are looking for people to put up industries near Del Monte. So that's also a strategic plan for the county, particularly to create what we believe are private sector jobs for the county. Now, allow me now to go to the second point on automation. We created a software development department. So we have been doing a lot of automation. So like parking, various revenue streams of the county, own source revenue like parking, markets, hospital charges. So we developed some systems where we are able to track revenue collection on a day-to-day basis. The other one is single business permit. We digitized it. Also meetings. Like now, assume this was a county meeting, we would have created a digital minutes recording system. We have a complaints. I don't know whether they are ready. We have a complaints. We have a complaints digital. Yes, now this is for the, like now you can see there, we can know how many people are parking motor vehicles in Murang'a. I think there are about 753 today, the money that we have obtained today. If you click the other one, next is, this is the one for single business permit. Is the dashboard. We are able to see the people who have applied for single or liquor license. Next is another one for, no, this is for hospitals. Previously, people used to come to the hospitals carrying a physical card, and there'll be a lot of manual documents in the hospital. So we got this system in collaboration with the national government, Ministry of Health, where people no longer carry physical card in Murang'a. So the kind of data we get is this. Like now today, as we speak, the people who are sick, who went to sick medical facilities in the entire Murang'a are 6,050 as at now. On the middle are the kind of diseases that took them there. At the end is the money in cash that we have collected, 664 by M-Pesa. But if you want to check how much we'll claim from SHA, I think we will, you click there. As at now, we need to claim 1 million from SHA. The lab tests, the prescriptions, this is now the total, but you can drill for each medical facility, and you're able to track how each medical facility is performing. Next is also a system on GIS. The county also has a GIS system for lands. If you want to apply for building permit, you go to the system and you apply, and we will give you your permission to put up a building. There are many. Allow me to just keep there and now come to the third point where we are here, which is automation and procurement. So now, in procurement, and I will start with this one. Now, this is hospitals. Once that law was passed by Parliament, it meant hospitals are now become a little bit autonomous. But how do we check what they are doing and ensure whatever they are doing is objective? So this system was developed. It's like Amoranga developed EGP. So those who want to tender, let's say, to bring drugs, to bring non-farms, so they go to this system, they apply, and the evaluations are done, and you get your LPO digitally through this system. The other one is EGP. For EGP, Murang'a County, when the national government announced that it wants various procurements to be done digitally, we embraced it, and we have been doing it. But a question may be asked, have we succeeded? The answer to that is, as I stand here, out of about 200 procurements we put in the EGP, only one has gone through. Yeah. And the reason being, oh, you are happy? Okay, the reason is, the feedback we have gotten is number one, what are the problems you're experiencing in EGP? Number one is, I think the people who developed EGP, they put in some steps that are problematic to the bidders. One is, and the most problematic is the step on litigation history. Most people are unable to go past that. Number two is where you want to cancel a tender. It appears you cannot, you as a procurement officer or even as a county, you don't have rights to cancel a tender. So we are being forced to go to the treasury, and the treasury refers us to the developer, and the developer, now that takes a lot of time. In fact, the truth is, we are now in December. That is about 5 months post the commencement of the financial year. We have not procured even a single item through EGP. Even that one is not delivery and completion. So the truth is, if we go at this speed, EGP might make us have very low absorption rate, and which is funny because I thought EGP should do the opposite, help us do things faster. But let me also go on the funny part is, so when I saw how EGP is causing delays, problems, like now, I recall the first time we put up about 130 tenders. Only 72 were responsive. So we have to, the other day we cancelled and put them again, and I'm hearing still there are problems. So because of that delay, I told the head of procurement, and I guess he's here. I told him, okay, now what do we do? Time is running. We need to cancel this EGP. We revert back to manual because, as I told you, the sun does not wait for the king. When I told him that, Oh, stop clapping. He told me don't. He told me don't. I asked him why. The funny thing is that it appears my procurement department have become lovers of EGP. They love EGP. One of the problems happens, and you all know, because particularly those who are in public sector here, you get a lot of problems on matters procurement. Once in a blue moon, you hear you are called to EACC to write statements, complaints, and you all know, you always find you have committed a small clerical error here and there. So EGP will cure that. And the impression I got is that they feel EGP will somehow make them less exposed to the problems that comes in procurement thing. The other thing they told me about EGP is it requires a lot of collaboration of the people doing evaluation. Yeah, power has now been somehow decentralized. It's more collegiate. It's more collective, and they feel that's a little bit of progress. My CECs, previously, they used to complain and say that they did not have sight of the entire budget, planning, procurement, uploading, whatever. Now they seem they can now trace. So the point is, yes, EGP has problems. We are here to perfect it, but it's somehow appearing it's popular with my officers. And therefore, despite the problems, as at now, we seem more minded to us pushing on with EGP. I hope the people of EGP are here. If you are here, please help Moranga, because we believe it is the right thing to do. And looking at our experience with our FIF e-procurement system, it makes life quite easy. It reduces your time within which you can evaluate documents, and also it can protect you because things are a little bit more objective. And therefore, for me, I would only urge the national government to perfect EGP. My final remark on EGP is national government has several systems. It have the SHA system. It is now have this EGP system. I only urge national government that kindly, it makes sense when you have these systems developed by government-owned staff than external people. It makes sense. Because one, it will mean external people will have very private data belonging to Kenya. We are also assuming they are doing altruistic work. Who knows the kind of manipulation behind the scene they can do. Also, these systems, when they are bought externally, they are expensive. But like now, these systems we have in Moranga, majority, not all of them, but majority, they have been internally developed, and that saves government a lot of money. For you as professionals of procurement, I think let us embrace that feature of technology. Will make Kenya save money, will be more objective, and I think Kenya can only grow if we become more digital. And I believe that you are very well-trained professionals. You are people who gatekeep public funds, and I have no doubt that you have the skills that can make Kenya go ahead on matters public finance and procurement. Thank you. Questions? Oh, questions. Questions, sorry. Or comments. And maybe, Chair, if you don't mind, somebody, Kenneth, a biro, so that I don't forget.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, makofi tena for His Excellency the Governor of the County of Murang'a for a wonderful presentation. We'll be taking questions. I've requested him to sit so that he can be able to write them down. Let's be prompt and try not to be repetitive. If a question has already been asked, please don't ask the same question again. Tafadhali, tuanze kwa wepesi. I have guys running around with the microphones. Please, let's start. Asante. Anybody with a question? All right. I see a gentleman there with a burgundy or maroon sweater. Please start by telling us your name and maybe the organization you work for.
Thank you, Nimrod. You know, I recognize you as NT because I knew you while you were in NTV. And thank you, Governor, for Murang'a, for visiting us here and giving us your views. Mine is I'm Wema Onesmus. I work for Nairobi Water Company, and we are part of the group that is embracing EGP. In fact, I've seen my team still working out on some progress of some procurement engagement. Governor, thank you for getting that notification by your head of procurement. Probably he never told you that he never wanted you to leave procuring through EGP simply because there is something else that he was in fear of. You know, we say that we never want to be so much influenced by our leaders, and in this case we use the term politics. But mine is a persuasion, Governor, Your Excellency. If it would be possible, one, we embrace EGP as procurement professionals simply because it is one of its kind. Number one, it is a very user-friendly system, and I think everyone can bear witness. Only that, like you have said, our biggest trouble is that all the powers and controls are centralized at the National Treasury. So we want to work with EGP, yes, and even the top cream, including the head of state, is pushing that we have EGP in place. The CS National Treasury is working tirelessly to ensure that we are using EGP. But governors, actually I would say even the Council of Governors, a majority, I have not advocated for use of EGP at the moment. Probably reasons being the poor infrastructure that is in place. So this is my plea now. Your Excellency, the next time you are going to be having a sitting with the Council of Governors and probably the head of state, our request is one. Just like you have had, in as much as you have had some hands that have been clapped towards, support of that we don't use EGP at the moment when we revert to the manual system. The issue is there are challenges in terms of infrastructure. If you, because you are a key stakeholder, you are a key player in this case, because I know you sit in the Council of Governors and probably you have meetings with the head of state on anything to do with government. If you can present on behalf of us, we are ready to use EGP, but we need to have the proper structures in place. And structures means even if it means there is a delegation of those to give attention, to the problems that are rising from EGP, from the National Treasury. We probably bear accounts that are devolved for the management of EGP. We'll be glad, and the system will be up and running. I want to thank the head of procurement as I conclude, NT. Yes, as I conclude. It was a wise advice to the governor that let's not revert to the manual procurement system. Let's go the EGP way. Thank you, NT. Asante. I never wanted to talk much.
Asante. Question? There's a gentleman with a pink shirt here in the middle.
Thank you, Governor.
Let me get from him first, and then I'll come and get you. Please.
Yes, Governor, my name is James Motisia from Machakos County, but I have invested in agriculture in Makueni. I will first ask you on health matters that you have said you have an insurance for the needy people in your community. How do you identify the needy people whom you need to insure them? That we have those non-communicable illnesses whereby someone may be sick, he was well in the society, sickness has drained them, and after some time they become needy. Do you still support them in matters of dialysis, matters of those big problems, health problems? Number two, on agriculture, you said you buy feeds for them. Do you follow on the EBACT? Do you follow, when you buy for them, do you follow the proceedings from them whereby they have got milk? Do you have those dairy shops to help them sell their produce? Or do you have also a market for their calves? Or maybe they get the real benefit from the agricultural person? Thank you for those.
Gentleman with a green shirt.
I'm impressed by the presentation by the governor, but my question is, what has been developing most counties, the previous one and the current one, called pending bills? How have you maneuvered the pending bills you found when you came into the office?
Thank you for that question. Let me cross over to this other side. There's a lady in a yellow sweater right at the third row.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for your good presentation. My name is Jackie. My question is, with all that you've managed to do in Murang'a County, in your Council of Governors, do you tell your colleagues what to do and that's the way to go?
If we could take two final questions, yeah, in the interest of time. Oh, there's a gentleman back there first. Tumalize upande huu manake hatukuwa tumewapatia nafasi.
Thank you. My name is Dan Mumo. And also thank you, Your Excellency, for the presentation. My question is very simple. You've mentioned an issue on youth empowerment. You train them, you give them some amount to start a business. How do you ensure that those businesses are sustainable? Because we need them to run for so many years so that they can help their people. Thank you.
Thank you. Final question. Gentleman over there.
Thank you, Nimrod. Your Excellency, sir, the Governor. My name is Alex. I work for Bungoma County Government. I embrace EGP. In my work experience, I've worked on several software solutions. We cannot overstate their importance and their capability to lead to efficiency and maybe cost cutting, amongst the things you've mentioned, Your Excellency, sir. As a member of the Council of Governors, my humble request to you is, could you, if possible, talk to the national government? Everybody is ready to embrace EGP, but the rollout time. You don't introduce a software solution and try to capacity build. In fact, what they do, they firefight. At the moment, what the Excellency did not tell you is that when you put a request at the National Treasury, the earliest you'll get support, if I am not wrong, is 30 days. His Excellency did not give us the number of days, but the issue of cancellation of a procurement or cancellation of our amendment of a procurement plan. is a lot of time. Now, all those put together will lead to very little absorption of the budget, and the final person who will suffer is the common mwananchi who pays tax. Please, my plea is that can we be given enough rollout time as we embrace EGP to help us, the professionals of supply chain, and help the government achieve its goal of transparency, fairness, effectiveness, and efficiency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. Mwema from Nairobi Water. I think that was a comment. Therefore, allow me to keep that. Number 2, Mutisia. He asked about 2 questions. How do you identify the people who will get the card? Every year in December, we usually announce in churches over vernacular media, whoever is interested to appear before the nearest primary school. Murang'a has about 520 primary schools, so we establish 520 committees comprised of one person from the Department of Health, maybe a chief, a sub-chief, a nominee from the MCA, a committee of about 5 people. Then we give them a criteria. We tell them we want people with chronic ailments, evidence of maybe hospitalization. Then people come with those documents. Also, we give more weight to widows, orphans, the elderly. So we have a set of criteria and a weighting marks system where based on the marks you get, that's how you qualify. So on average, you'll find, on average, you are talking of 40,000 households. So if you divide that with about 500, it means on average, all factors being constant, each polling center has about how many? 40,000 divided by 500 is about 80. Yeah, about 80. So on average, give or take 80 per primary school based on that criteria. But I believe it's a maybe somehow objective criteria, reason being one, there's some like a vetting process and there's a health professional to validate that with the secretary of that committee at each primary school, like a nurse, a CEO. The other thing is at least you give almost every person an equal chance to come and apply for it. And thirdly, how many people get sick out of 10 in any population? Often all factors being constant, I doubt they can be, it's about 1 or 2. So Murang'a having about 300,000 households. So meaning 10% of 300,000 households, that's about 30,000. So meaning, and you know, all those, that 30,000 that get sick, some of them are people who are employed, so they have their own insurance arrangement. So we believe that number somehow captures the people who ought to be getting this card. However, I've seen in some few instances where you find a person who doesn't seem deserving getting that card. There's one member of parliament whom I will not disclose, who is a parliamentarian in Kiambu, but the mother basically lives in Murang'a. So we once met with that member of parliament and told me, you are doing a good job. My mother has Kangataki. Of course, I could tell the mother ought not to be getting that card because this is a mother of a member of parliament. So I'm seeing a situation where even people who can be able to purchase for themselves that card, pursuing it, thinking it has like some special benefits, which is not true, except maybe the last expense, which comes after you die. So that's something we need to check. We will continue improving ways of ensuring only the very poor get it. Number 2 by Mutisia was on this agriculture thing. Okay, the way it is tailored is on the market aspect is first, except when we give you the support directly, we rarely then do something else in form of business management. What do I mean? Our philosophical underpinning is that we are a strong believer of free market. Therefore, we eschew establishment of what we call public business enterprises. So, like now, Mango. One would have thought we should have established a county-owned fruit processing for mango. But I know how public enterprises perform. I know what happened to Mumias, Zoya, Kenya Airways. They are all reporting losses. And also, if you put up a factory there, mango season is only 3 months. What will be happening in the other 9 months when the mango is off season? So we decided now, we looked for private companies that do juice making. We have one called Sane Mango in Muranga Kambiti. The other one is Pick and Peel Company in Thika. The other one is Kate in Machakos. The other one is Prime Foods in Babandogo. So we told them, give us what we call an off-takers agreement. We sign. If I mobilize my Muranga mangoes and I bring to you, what price are you going to give Muranga farmers? So they told me, give us, we shall give you 18 bob. One Kate gave me at 30 bob because it does export. So my role as a county is very simple. I just go to Muranga, I mobilize mangoes, I get my 23 or whatever amount, I give it to the farmer. I'm basically like a broker. And therefore, mango prices shot. Before that, our Muranga farmers used to get to sell to these small brokers at 3 bob per kg. Now they are earning 23 bob per kg. By simply, I'm just a broker. So I believe that's the best way model to help those poor farmers. Don't do it. Don't establish a public-owned company. Create what we call market linkages. What those people lack is market linkage. Take like maize. Next door there, we have 2 or 3 companies that do a lot of milling of maize. One is called Kafagara. The other one is called Palea in Thika. The other one is called Spencer. So I talked to the owners of Palea and Kavagara. I told them, if I mobilize Muranga maize, how much will you pay them per one bag? They told me 3,500 per kg. So I announced, this maize we give you to plant. If you produce it, we shall take it to Kavagara at 3,500 per 90 kg of bag. When the brokers heard that, they used to buy at 2,200. Brokers now pushed it to 4,000. In fact, I don't get maize. So for me, it's win-win. Yeah, it's win-win. So I did not have to establish a milling company. I only just talked to Kafagara, who gave me a market. My work is just being a broker and creating market linkages. Then there's a question on pending bills. My brother did not identify himself. The question was, what do you do about pending bills? Yes, it is true. I found pending bills of almost 2-point-something billion. So we established a committee. That committee does vetting. It did vetting. So those whose documents were found proper, we came up with a repayment plan. We are still paying. We are yet to finish paying everything. The others who were rejected, we told them, we are sorry. Please, we can't pay you. And if you feel aggrieved, please consider going to court. Some went, some didn't, which is okay. Those who went to court, we are battling with them. Some of them we defeat them. Some of them defeat us. Those who defeat us, they queue. They'll be paid when the funds come in. Question, Council of Governors, why can't you tell them? No, I'm not a prefect of anyone. I also believe other counties are also doing a good job. In fact, some of these ideas, some of them I stole them from other counties. When I was a senator, I'll give you 3. 1, I went as a senator to Kakamega. I saw Governor Oparanya then. He had done tarmac. Where I come from, I always thought tarmac is done by the national government. So that's how I got interested. What is the true cost of doing tarmac? And I realized the pricing at the national government is fairly inflated. So that's how I adopted that idea from Oparanya. Renovation of ECDs is also an idea I took from Governor Mvurya when he was governor of Coastal Region. I also know a county like Mandera, they pay school fees for all children. So the point is, I know other governors are doing also a good job. Number 5, about you, the sustainable. Yes, I think that's an idea you have given me. Maybe we do a mistake, we don't follow up. Once we give them the money, we tell them, bye, we are sorry. Maybe next time we need to do a follow-up and know whether whatever they propose to do, is this sustainable. Finally, on Bungoma, Alex, on national government, can we extend timeline? Yes, I think it makes sense. I would propose national government to do piloting. You know, at times bringing a new idea abruptly without first testing it, even if in some select public entities, even select counties. Then if it works, you upscale. If it doesn't, you don't, or you retweak. So I would propose national government to consider piloting, and we are happy Murang'a to be a pilot case. Thank you.
I think we can do better than that for His Excellency, the Governor of the County of Murang'a. Let's do it the way we do it best. Let's do it the way we do it best. 3 good ones, huh? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'd like to invite on stage our chairman, Mr. Karani, and all the council members, please, to come and join us. We do a presentation of a token of appreciation for His Excellency, the Governor of the County of Murang'a. Let me invite also CEO to come. And Mheshimiwa pia, Kakai, also will do a photo op as we do the presentation to appreciate our Governor. Makofi, let's applaud him, plus the council members. We really do appreciate his time coming here to talk to us. Would you want to say something? Just appreciate it.
Yeah, are we not happy to have had the governor here? Can you clap better then? Excellent. I can tell you, when I had him in the convention in Mombasa, I said we need him in the supply chain forum. Has that been good for us? EGP works, right? Okay. Thank you very much.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our chairman presenting a token of appreciation to Governor Dr. Irungu Kang'ata, the Honorable His Excellency, the Governor of the County of Murang'a County. Let's see those smiles now. Let's see those wonderful smiles, ladies and gentlemen. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Thank you so much. As we proceed to seat, I'd like to invite the Honorable Member for Community Constituency just to say a word after the contribution by His Excellency.
Governor, on behalf of the comrades, the supply family, we want to say thank you. You remember in the morning we talked about professionalism, effective communication, calm the way the message is being delivered, and also embracing technology. I would like to inform you that I've been a very frequent visitor to Murang'a County, and what impressed me a lot is the technology that His Excellency Governor Kang'ata has adopted. You can imagine sitting somewhere in a garden or wherever you are, so long as you have internet, you know in every clinic how many deliveries have been done, how many hospital visits have been done, what is being collected in terms of licenses, etc. So I think you are a role model, but we also, as Kenyans, not just as supply persons, we have a responsibility. Let us pick leaders who also have professionalism in them. Because with professionalism, even the political job will sort of create some synergies. The results will even be better. And you can see professionals who've gone into the political space, but they are making a difference. So even as you go back and in the future, as you look around for elected leaders, look at that particular component. Professionalism, professionalism, professionalism. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Bisau Kakai. Just very quickly, on Your Excellency Governor Irungu Kang'ata, apologies earlier on when we had the hitch with your presentation. We had a small hitch with the technology, nothing to do with the human problem. I think maybe it's EGPS. We can blame it on something like that. Yeah, please forgive us for that. Yeah.
I really want us to recognize the head of procurement in Murang'a County and all the people from Murang'a County. Mko wapi? Where is Mr. Moniki? Where is he? Oh, they are at the back. Your governor is at the front and you are saying, okay, just come to the front, guys. I'm going to have to take 1 minute of your time. Sir Governor, take pictures with your team. Come to the front, please. Come. If you can run, please clap for them as they run, hopefully. Najua tu Murang'a kama ni chap. If you don't mind, just come quickly, take a picture with your governor. And we all know, please, let's appreciate them as they come. Excellent. Karibun. Hey. Oh, you have a full team, Your Excellency. Wow, it's excellent. Just come right to the stage. And wow. You have a rare moment with your governor today. All of you. Wow. I think the team is closed. The office is closed. Eh? By the way, if you don't know, Murang'a County was the very first county in Kenya previously to have a chief supply chain officer, CEO finance. But come this way, please come closer. Come. You can do a calf?
Because we have two lines, eh? So we have two lines. Yeah? Can I have the lady in front? You can tip two of it. It's a full tip. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, the team for Murang'a County.
Yes, just 1 minute, Kenodia. I would want these two just to say one word about the XP. This one is on EGP, this one on the hospital procurement system. Eh? So, Kenodia, 1 minute. Tell us your experience.
Okay, thank you very much, members and Your Excellency. On Murang'a County Health Procurement, on the issue of digitization of health, one, we improved on, we managed to reduce our read time, because now we are able to follow up on when we issue an LPO, we are able to follow up. So we really support the system, the health management, the health procurement system. The other thing is the issue of fairness. The system around us, though we use the framework contract, we are able to include more bidders to participate in the framework system. They compete. In fact, we invite more than 7. It is more of an open tender where all the listed framework bidders compete amongst themselves. So it is open, it is fair, and competitive. Thank you.
Now this is the boss. Thank you. He needs to tell us, why did he refuse to go back to manual?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stan Moneki. When we are in Mombasa for HOP Forum, we as the HOPs for county and national government agreed that EGP is a good system and we should embrace it. So when I went back to Murang'a, I told my governor that EGP, we are going EGP. And because he's a person who likes to embrace the systems, he does not like manual procurement. He does not like quotations. When you come to Murang'a, you have to do open tenders. I can comfortably say that in Murang'a, the contracts we have in the EGP, we have only one open tender contract, which is from Murang'a County. So EGP is a good system, and I would urge all of you to embrace EGP, especially the procurement professionals. It is has its own issues, and the National Treasury should improve on that. Like when the tender is non-responsive, you have to go back to National Treasury. We should not be going back to National Treasury for that. There are so many things we have suggested. I know my colleagues have suggested a lot. And the National Treasury should consider those requests. There are so many processes in the EGP. They should simplify those processes. And currently we are having more than 10, almost 15 tenders which are in standstill period. We are still evaluating more. And before the end of this month, I know the governor will be proud that we shall be having more than 50 contracts in EGP.
Right, makofi tena kwao, asante sana. At this rate, I think everybody wants to be associated with Murang'a County, isn't it? Yeah, I am personally associated with Murang'a County because the wonderful lady who made me a father comes from Murang'a. So, yeah, Murang'a ni home. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's move quickly. I want to invite our panel discussion, but let me request His Excellency the Governor, if he wants to leave, at your own pleasure, sir, you can do that, and we really, really are grateful. As we proceed, I'd like the rest of us to remain seated, especially those who are going to be a part and parcel of the panel discussion this afternoon. We're going to be discussing digital transformation for national development. Of course, we're discussing EGPs, big data and AI technology for transparency. The first gentleman I want to invite on stage, he is a project manager, e-government procurement, which is EGP system for the government of Kenya. He has implemented the EGP system in Kenya and is under the National Treasury Public Procurement Department. He has vast knowledge and experience in IT and procurement, having worked in public sector over 18 years. Before being the project manager for the EGP system implementation, he was the manager information communication technology at Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, PPPRA, He has worked in PPRA for more than 10 years, and he has acquired vast knowledge in public procurement. He has been directly involved in the implementation of systems geared towards automation of procurement processes, such as the Integrated Financial Management Information System, popularly known as IFMIS. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the project manager, EGPS, Mr. Lawrence Kanyinyi. Karibu sana. Welcome on the stage. I think you should take, probably the second seat from the left. The second one from the left. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Asante. I'd like to invite our next guest onto the stage. He's a director at Serianu Kenya Limited with over 20 years of experience in software engineering and product development, a technology visionary with a strong strategic view of the trends shaping IT and business. He is known for aligning technology with measurable business outcomes. At Serianu's, the director himself has nurtured a culture of creativity, passion, and technical excellence that has helped position the company as a hub of software engineering talent. His blend of sharp technical skills and business acumen motivates teams to strive for equality and quality and speed to market, contributing to Serianu's role as a trusted partner to financial institutions across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Director Serianu Kenya Limited, Bwana Shikoli Makatiani. Karibu sana. Welcome. Thank you so much. I'd like you to take the seat next to Bwana Lawrence tafadhali. Asante. And to guide us through this session, I'd like to invite a gentleman who has had over 10 years of experience in procurement and supply chain management and is currently the head of procurement at Makueni County Government. He is a winner of the KISS, or if you like, Kenya Institute of Supplies Management Best Supply Chain Research Paper Award 2022. He deserves a clap for that, eh? Right? He's a mentor, a coach, and a champion who ensures inclusivity in all sectors. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Purchasing and Supplies Management, a Master's in Procurement and Logistics, PhD Supply Chain Management, a finalist, and a Diploma in Procurement and Supply, CIPS UK. He tells me that he's still studying hard to improve in what he does. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Bwana Fidel Muema, who is a council member of the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management. He'll take us through this discussion. Sir, I know we're spent in terms of time, but maybe if we could take about 45 to 50 minutes and then see how we can proceed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Jambo. I think I want to invite Mr. Kitui. Please come to the floor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kitui. You know, he's a champion of equity and transparency. Here we have the guy who procured the EGP system is in the front. The guy who procured the system. We also have the guy who has been going through developing the development stage, and he's currently the project manager. And I want us to go through to issues related to EGP, and then if there is any success story, like the success story in Muranga. I know many of you say that you don't want to go to work with county governments, but the director of procurement in Muranga was previously working with Kenya National Highway Authority, KENA. So you can see you can leave the mainstream government and then come to county government and work very well. So, Mr. Kanyinyi, I don't know whether you have a presentation?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. So we are going first to go through the presentation, and then we'll be able to have Q&A session. Then we'll try to manage our time very well. I know today we have cocktail. I know we have been sitting for quite some time. Able to simame kidogo? Able to simame kidogo? Najua tumeketi sana. Salimia your neighbor, mwambie ni wakati wa EGP. Na kama hakukaribishwa mwambie karibu na Ivasha. Na umkumbushe leo ni siku ya cocktail. Mwambie leo ni siku ya cocktail. Asante sana. So we can be seated. I think maybe I can allow them just to say who they are, isn't it? And then we'll have the presentation. Maybe you can just say your name, who you are, and briefly, less than a minute.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shikoli Makatiani. As I was introduced, I spend the majority of my time in private sector, but I usually tend to sit between what business does and technology. I try to be like the translator. As someone said, the technology people usually talk French, and the business people usually talk Xhosa. So I try to translate the two to make sure that they both understand each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanyinyi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Lawrence Kanyinyi, Project Manager, EGP. I do have a presentation on the EGP, so we'll have a time to interact.
Thank you. Mr. Kitui.
Good afternoon. My name is Awambaya Kitui, Director at the National Treasury, currently standing in for Eric Korir. I'm the Project Coordinator EGP at the National Treasury. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Mr. Kitui. I also want to recognize the head of procurement, Busia. I think he has brought the biggest number of participants, close to 40. He is here and he was also in the pilot. So you can just wave. Mr. Leonardo Machari. I know judiciary there is, I think we have 40 members of staff. Makueni, we have around 30 something. So, Kanyinyi, you can come and do the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fidel. When the governor started, His Excellency the Governor started his presentation, I was almost to ask the chair whether I can run away, because I don't know how I'm going to do this presentation coming immediately after the governor spoke. But thanks so much. I believe that the comments that he made last was very interesting to us, and we do appreciate the work the governor is doing for the county of Murang'a, and we have interacted with his team in terms of the implementation of the EGP. The chair of KISIM, the honorable member of parliament, the CEOs, the council members, the heads of supply chain management, members of the KISIM, colleagues, good afternoon. I'm here to take through the presentation, and I do take a specific note to the theme of this forum, and I look at it is it's going to the future lady supply chain professionals. And looking at that, I'll do my presentation first to see in EGP where are we in terms of going to the future, and I'll also mention the areas that are placing in terms of the implementation of the EGP. The topic today is digital transformation for national development, and in this case, the EGP regime. EGP, that is the electronic government procurement regime, big data, AI technology for transparency. And specifically, I do underline the word EGP regime. So it is notes that we are already now in a regime called EGP. So I'll first do the introduction. Sorry, this is, I'm doing this for our director, Eric Kolik, who is the Director of Public Procurement Department at the National Treasury. So first we look at the introduction of all the definition of the EGP Kenya, and we see what the Murang'a County has done in terms of adopting the ICT. And specifically, the EGP brings now the ICT to ensure that we do the transaction, and also the transaction between the government and the suppliers are done through an e-platform. And this includes now for the goods and the services that the government is acquiring. And for the EGP, we know it is a net-to-head procurement system that is covering all the procurement processes, starting from the planning all the way to contract management. We have some achievements so far that we have done in the EGP. We have registered approximately 1,500 procuring entities. We do have already published over 500 annual procurement plans. We have also published tender notices, approximately or more than 1,500. We do have 500 annual procurement. We do have 500 available opportunities as we are speaking. These are opportunities that our suppliers get in today, and they'll see what are the requirements. All of them are available in the EGP system. We have registered suppliers, approximately 30,000, and we have also have approximately 9 procurement disposal plans, and the number is also going up in terms of the contracts that I have published, and currently we have 55 contracts published. If you ask, is this the numbers that we should be expecting, especially at this time when we are coming to a close of the second, the quarter 2, we say that even us, we were not very happy about these figures, and we also highlight the key challenges that we are facing and the way we plan so that these figures can go up. So, but also, we have also seen the early benefits of the EGP. One of them is on the reservations. The figures that we are seeing, these, when we do the analysis in terms of, we have the reservation of for 30%, we have also the reservation for county. These figures we have never heard of such figures, because you cannot now have a published procurement plan if you have not met the 30% as required as stipulated by the law. So starting from the advertisement, starting from empowering our special groups, we have now integrated also with the AGPO, and then from the planning, you go through the tender notices, and then from the tender notices, so you are locked that if you say this is a procurement for AGPO, it continues being a procurement for AGPO until the award is done. So this is one of the early benefits that we have seen for the EGP. The other early benefit that we have seen for the EGP is on compliance, streamlining compliance. As we mentioned, one of them is on AGPO. You cannot now, you have to make sure that you restrict yourself to the law, including the use of the template document. For first time, we can say if it is a tender document for goods, it is being used across all the government entities. We used to have so many variants of the tender document, but now we can say that this is a tender document that is being used for goods or for even works. We have also integrated with several other government systems. So the name of the company that you have, from one entity to the other, it is the same when we are using the EGP system. We used to have various. There are those that used to call groups. There are others that use, they have a name and then they add groups. Those are 2 different companies. But now those are treated within the EGP, are treated as different companies. And these are the early benefits that we are starting to enjoy by the use of EGP system. So the topic today is also touches on the AI, and it is good to see where the future is. And by definition, just to read it the way it is, it refers to the ability of the computer systems to replicate human intelligence and cognitive functions, which is now necessary, is Gen AI, which focuses on creating or generation of new content, utilizing an input or context. The outcome should be maybe a word, an image, or a document, or even a code. So AI is not yet widely in procurement, but I believe going forward, this is what will be key. And the question that we're asking ourselves is how AI can be utilized in procurement processes to ensure that we're also having a competitive tendering process. So which are these areas that may use the AI, or where we may adopt the AI? We have several of them that has been identified, several use cases. One is when we are talking about the automation definition of the requirement. I believe by now, most of us have already gone to the ChatGPT and said terms of reference of a certain consultancy. Is it? And then you see now it is generated, you're just going to edit that, and then you are able to complete the terms of reference of a consultancy, or even for a product. If it is a device, if it is a machine, you can just say this machine and this model, and it can automatically generate for you, and you're able to print. So that is one of the key areas that the AI can be used. The other is on bid preparation. As you note, most of the bid preparation that we have, they use the standard tender documents. So AI is able to generate and create for you. After generating the requirements, this is the terms of reference, it can be able to create a whole bid document that can be able to be utilized for tendering process. The other is on the assisting in the decision making of the supplier selection. I know as procurement officers, the first thing that we are afraid of is this company going to assist us is it going to meet our supply requirement? Is it going to let us down? And we start the process of the registering the suppliers, because we want to understand these suppliers. Are they capable of doing the work that we have? AI can assist you in terms of mapping and giving you ideas of the right supplier that you can be able to select. The others, in terms of the negotiation, this is we know that the negotiation is also a very structured process, and it has a format. This, including even the transcription during the meetings of the negotiation, the AI can assist you in that. Then also contract terms definition, where you're creating contract by creating and following the data that is already in a system like the EGP. It can be able to create a contract on its own. We also have the spend analysis. We also have the spend analysis and also in contract management. So, and in procurement, we agree that AI can be used throughout the procurement life cycle. It has some use cases that can be used and implement the AI. But the key promising ones that I believe that even the next version of the EGP will have, one is on the product requirements. The way you just click, for those who are familiar with the EGP, you just click the requisition, and after you click the requisition, and you are able to generate the requirements automatically by just giving few remarks. And the other part is also to support the supplier selection. Remember, we have a whole database of suppliers. We are also ranking the suppliers, which is also a module in the EGP next phase. So you're able to be assisted in terms of selecting the suppliers. Then basically the benefits for using AI on a procurement system is to ensure that there is time saving, is to ensure accuracy, and this is to some extent, noting that much of the work that is being done by AI, you may need also to review it. It requires a human intervention. And basically the challenge is the ability or the reliability of the output, and it really depends on the data that has been fed on in the AI system. Next. So the question now is, we have the EGP system. How do we go forward now to the AI to ensure that we onboard AI? One, if you look at the key prerequisite for an AI system is the data. You must have the data. It is the central pillar of any AI system that we are going to utilize. So it is very necessary, and this is some of the aspects that we have ensured that we have maintained within the EGP system, is to standardize the consistency of the data, noting that we have a single source of truth. To give an example on how we are registering our supplier, if there is a small change within the registration process, if it is a name, if it is the BLS number, you cannot proceed with the EGP unless that is clear, because we know the next phase we are getting in. It is on the AI, and AI needs the correct data for it to be able to function. So this is very important. We have taken it seriously. We have mapped our data, categorized our data, so that we are able to use the modern technologies, specifically on the AI and also big data. Key areas that we have already identified as use cases that will be implemented maybe in the next version of the EGP is, one is on the item master. I know now some of us have known what is UNSPSC code is. Is that really necessary? I believe that what you need is a laptop. You need to put a laptop, and then the system automatically generates for you and gives you the option of the laptop and the specification that is required. So the item master is one of the areas that we have identified that in the next version we should be having an AI generator for the UNSPSC code. The other, as I mentioned, when you get to the requisition, you only need to put some inputs. And take an example that we are cutting across the whole government in terms of the requisition, in terms of the tier worlds that we have given to the EGP system. So instead of going to ChatGPT, where we are taking a lot of general information, why don't we have this in the EGP system, so that the content that we have, it's already contained within the government circle. It has been fed by other entities, so it will be very easy for you to be able to generate terms of reference and proceed in the preparation of the document. And the other is on the supplier recommendation, as I've mentioned. It is about, we have a whole database of suppliers, and then we can be able to use the rating processes of the supplier, to use that data to assist or to recommend to the supply chain officers on the right supplier that can be onboarded. The theme, we look at the theme, which is future ladies supply chain professionals, and my thing is that we are talking about the EGP right now, but to speak the truth, this was supposed to be the past. So there is need that we adopt and work with the EGP, specifically because the EGP is, what you note is that we are just trying to automate the processes as specified in the law. So you see that it is about the work from pushing document from one person to the other. But that is not where we want to be. We are looking at the future. As of the theme of today, we are looking at the future of the artificial intelligence. We will be having now prediction, interpretation, and also creation of the document. So you'll be able to move all through. I've mentioned that also you can be able to prepare the standard tender document and by generating using the AI. The next. So I also wanted to mention the areas that we are facing a bit of challenges, and this is in the EGP. I believe several comments has been done that EGP is not working. We only have 55 contracts that has been awarded. Where are these others? But I also want to thank the colleague from Muranga who mentioned that by the end of the month they are seeing that we'll be having almost 55. So almost all these contracts are still in pipeline within the procurement cycle. But to highlight some of the challenges that we have had in terms of the implementation of the EGP, first is on the user management. The user management, we know one of the officers has been transferred to another place, and then the system still recognizes that officer. So when you get your requisition, you say my requisition has been lost, the system is not working, it's throwing documents away. But that is an issue of user management. And this is an issue that we have realized. We are redefining how that is going to be done, especially in terms of the roles and also the users, to ensure that challenge we overcome that challenge. Another area that we also had issues was on the budget approved. I know it was taking some time for the budgets to be approved, but also noting that especially this one cuts from the state corporation. There was a training that we needed to make sure that it is aligned with your structure of the budget. So there was necessary that we align that. It took a bit of time. But to speak the truth, right now we don't have any of those budget pending. All has been completed. The other area was on the annual procurement plan and annual disposal plan. Remember the issue that we were having on consolidation, unit of measure, and AGPO. All those one has now been sorted. And I can tell that the other entities who are getting in to start preparing their annual procurement plan, it's really taking a very short time to prepare a whole procurement plan. We also have the issues on tendering. It was mentioned about the litigation, the form of litigation. That is on the tendering forms. And we have worked with the PPLA to ensure that these documents we are refining the document and also trying to ensure that the errors that they are being faced during the preparation of the tender and also during the submission of the tender. And also it's done. So we have identified also the contracting and also the issue of framework. We know that the framework, there was a small issue on it, which has been now fixed, and it will be available for users. And the tender document for framework is also now available and can be used going forward. Next. The other issue that is coming, and it was also mentioned today, it is why are we implementing in this big bang? Why big bang? Why don't we just go through the pilot processes? But I know there are pros and cons for this. There is a process that we should be able to go to the pilot so that we are able to understand the system, and then also we can then, when we feel like it is comfortable. And I'll also take an example of one of the systems that has been implemented in government, which is like IFMIS. We has gone also on pilot, and it went on pilot and also rolled. It also, if you look at it, the time it has taken for them even to reach where we are, we agree that the big bang has its challenges, and is also a bit frustrating, but you see also the time turnaround and the implementation also period, and I can comfortably say that what we have achieved within that short time is that it is a lot. We have not had like 530 annual procurement plans already being pushed to the government or to the regulator at any time in our past. So we believe it has its pros and cons, but we also look at the directions that we were given by the government so that we adopt the big bang. The other is also the turnaround time for support. This, we agree, we are improving in it. We have two issues. One, the PS met the professional heads of supply chain and committed that he'll be doing, I'll be checking on the contract, especially for the service provider, to ensure that they are brought within the country and they're able to provide support within a very short time. At the same time, we have also implemented a help desk that can assist our users to be able to track the tickets. Lastly is on the payments. I think the biggest question is now after EGP, we have completed the contract. What happens next? And I believe there is already good discussions within the TNT to make sure that we issue guidelines, especially for the state departments and county governments, for them to be able to process payment for the suppliers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kanyinyi, for managing your time very well. I know we are looking forward to Q&A session, but before that, and I've seen some people, I don't know whether they were praying, nameona watu wanafanya hivi, wanasinzia kidogo. Kama uko na swali, kabla ulale, tafadhali andika, ndio tukianza swali, uulize. I want to invite Mr. Shikoli Makatiani, just to he has a 5 slides presentation, and then we go to Q&A session. Thank you very much. Karibu.
Thank you, everyone. I know I'm sitting between you and your cocktail, so I'm going to be really, really fast. One of the key things that I was thinking about, I think I was in Mombasa and I was talking to the internal auditors, and the chairman saw me and is like, you have to come and talk to the supply chain team. I was like, okay, let me go prepare for it. I think when we talk about the future of supply chain professionals, we're just not talking about what you produce at the end of the day. We are also talking about your work, your profession. How do you develop going forward? Next slide, please. Next slide, I'll introduce myself. So just quickly, how many of you here don't use AI at all in your offices? How many of you don't use AI? I've seen one hand over there. 2? Okay, next slide, please. How many of you have been trained on how to use AI in your offices? You can see one hand there. Okay, 2 hands. So you basically have a Ferrari, but you've not been taught how to drive it. That's the way I usually put it. So, next slide, please. So one of the key things that I really, really like doing when I come to sessions like this, next slide, please. So one of the things I really like to do when I come to sessions like this is to try to introduce a different perspective of AI so that you can try and understand it from a professional point of view, you as a supply chain professional, but you also start internalizing what that exactly means. So I have a demo here. Please don't call that number. I don't have data privacy.
Welcome to Kenya Trade Network Agency. My name is James and I'm here to assist you. How may I help you today?
My cargo is stuck at the airport. How can you help me clear it quickly?
Thank you for sharing that. To assist you quickly with clearing your cargo at the airport, may I confirm if you are importing goods into Kenya?
I'm actually I'm importing.
Please hold while I transfer you to our Import Services Department.
Hello, Shikoli Makatiani. My name is Grace and I'm with the Import Services Department. How can I assist you with your import needs today?
My cargo is stuck at Mombasa.
Thank you for sharing that. Your cargo is stuck at Mombasa. To assist you better, may I confirm if this is related to your current import declaration?
Yes, it's import declaration.
Thank you for confirming, Shaquille. I see your import.
Actually, I've changed my mind. I need to go for a cocktail. Can we talk at 5 later on today?
Thank you for letting me know, Shaquille. I understand you would like to continue our conversation later at 5 in the afternoon. Well, I can't schedule calls.
Actually, I've changed my mind. Let's continue. Let's continue this conversation. I've changed my mind.
Thank you for deciding to continue, Shaquille. Regarding your import declaration for agricultural fertilizers at Mombasa Port, I see the status is pending.
Actually, no, I'm already tired. Can we continue talking tomorrow then?
Thank you for letting me know, Shaquille. We can definitely continue tomorrow.
Bye. So, next slide, please. So, one of the key things that you start noticing is that, the instructions that I gave that AI employee you've just talked to, it's right there on the screen. You basically give them like a job description that like you give people who join your company. Right there is a job description of the AI agents that I've just talked to. Okay? So one of the things that I think we all need to be aware of is that we have a new type of employee in our organizations. And this type of employee is not just your natural employee. It's an AI employee who can get work done. And, next slide. And one of the key things that we need to start preparing for, in fact, someone told me this the other day. He told me we might be the last people who are actually managing human beings. So there's a very high possibility that we are soon going to be managing not just human beings, but you're going to be also managing machines. And this machine is becoming intelligent almost every day. As I was discussing outside there, now if you go to your hospital and you send your x-ray and you send your prescription and you ask the AI, what am I suffering from? Guess what? Next slide, please. AI will tell you what you're suffering from. Okay? So we need to start internalizing what this exactly means for us. And what it means for us is that, next slide, we have a new partner in our organizations. I want to call them a new intelligent supply chain assistant. And this assistant can get work done. This assistant, as you saw the presentation previously, this assistant can be able to write the RFP for you. This assistant can be able to review the RFP for you. This assistant can do what? When you receive those RFP clarifications from all those suppliers, oh, I want this, they can actually do those clarifications for us. So we have a new assistant who can help us get work done. Next slide, please. And when we think about it, this assistant has certain skills that we need to start thinking about. This assistant is very analytical. This assistant is very articulate. This assistant is very, it can become very creative. So we need to start asking ourselves is
If we started running our offices today and we have unlimited supply to a procurement professional who is this good at doing their work, what does that exactly mean for us? Okay, next slide, please. And the interesting thing is, this assistant is improving almost every other 6 months. So 6 months ago, this assistant could not be able to read a medical prescription from the doctor. But now it's reading it. What will it be able to do next week? What will it be able to do a week from now? So we need to make sure we change the way we start looking at our profession and know that all of a sudden there's a new assistant we need to start thinking about incorporating in our organization and figure out how will they fit in. Next slide, please. Okay? And of course, when you're thinking about this, you need to start thinking about it from these 4 points of views. You need to start thinking about, okay, what about this assistant who can generate ideas? What about this assistant who can analyze content? What about this assistant who can generate information? What about this assistant who can give feedback? If I just sit down with you and we just talk about analyze content, you'll be amazed how much stuff you can do with just analyze content. I'll give you a quick example for analyze content. I have a customer I work with who right now, they usually have drones that spray pesticide on tea. And what happened is that when they are spraying on those drones, they are collecting videos of the quality of the tea. So guess what they're doing now? Now they are analyzing the tea, using AI to analyze the tea and being able to do what? Being able to tell who has good tea and who doesn't. Now they can buy that tea in advance. They can come to you 3 months in advance and tell you we're going to buy your tea early enough. As a supply chain professional, you should actually be able to see how you're going to use AI for what you're going to, those capabilities, what you're going to use for them in whatever you do every day. Now, the problem we have with this new employee is this new employee has flaws. This is one employee I've ever seen who is so good at what they do, but the next minute they're lying to you. The next minute they're biased. The next minute, if you're not careful, you're copying your data in ChatGPT or whatever it is, and guess what? Next slide, please. Next year when I go in and I ask ChatGPT how much did I supply to the Kenyan government, it will tell me. Then I'll have to go back and ask how did that information end up there. So this employee that we are onboarding has certain limitations that we need to be aware of. They hallucinate often, they can't keep a secret, and they are biased. Okay? Next slide, please. So what we need to do is that we need to be aware that there are opportunities and realities with this AI. And the only thing I will point out right now, out of these realities, is that in terms of resistance, there's a lot of resistance to actually get AI in organizations because most people are looking at it as AI is going to replace them. So we as leaders in our departments, we need to start thinking about how are we going to make sure we address the issues of job security, but at the same time, we are able to get this technology working for us because we toil a lot. There's a lot of toiling in our organizations. Next slide, please. So we do not have choice, actually. Let me say, we have two choices. We have a choice of doing nothing, or we have a choice of doing something. Now, if you decide you're not doing anything, which means that this technology is going to overrun you. But if you decide to do something, there's something you can do right now that you need to start thinking about from Monday when you go into your organization. Next slide, please. You can decide to use AI to optimize supply chain. You can decide to use AI to accelerate supply chain. And you can decide to use AI to transform supply chain. You as leaders of your organizations, I'm sure when you go back to your offices on Monday, you will be asked, what is the AI strategy for our supply team? What is our strategy? You can say, we are going to use AI to transform supply. How are we going to do it? Maybe you offer some intelligence, which the company never had because there was no AI. or you can decide to accelerate, or you can decide to optimize your operations. Optimize is 100% of your organizations. Accelerate and transform, that one will maybe 50 to 30% of people will be able to do it. So there is your strategy. And an example, just next slide, please. An example of how you can think about AI is just think about the things you do in your organization. Here's an example of a process that is there in your departments. You can start thinking about what tasks can AI do. You need to go through this process. I was talking earlier on to one of your colleagues, and he was okay, we're identifying use cases in our departments, and we're thinking about using AI. There is a process you can draw in your department and ask yourself, can we use AI to analyze this? Can we use AI to send out emails? Can we use AI to detect fraud? There is something that you can actually be able to copy as you move forward. Next slide. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a very quick slides that I have had to do. If you need more details, please let us talk, and then we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Tuwapigie makofi tena. We better have quite a number of mics. Yes. So we start here. Na kama swali imeulizwa, usirudie, si ndio? Na kama kuna swali uko nayo, usikose kuuliza. Haya.
Thank you very much, CM Fidel, for the chance. This is a very important topic. I wish we could have even 6 hours on it in this night. I'm not sure whether 60 minutes makes it work. I think the first comment I want to make, because we need to be clear, and I'm foreseeing a problem here. It should be very clear that procurement professionals, all of us, we fully support EGP. That should go home very clear. Anyone making statements, whether in the press or anywhere, because I've seen some very sweeping statements that EGP is just being frustrated by procurement officers and all those. And you guys are aware about the consequences. The moment we start seeing those on TVs, that it is procurement officers who are opposed to this, then our jobs are in danger, isn't it? Especially those who are in public procurement. So it should be very clear that we fully support EGP, and that should go home. And then now the question that we should be asking ourselves is, what is the issue? The issue is legal issues and the project implementation issues. And those are the two things that we need to discuss when we are here. And as we now do that, I'll now move to my question. Kitui, my friend, now as you sit there as director for the directorate and also the person who procured this EGP, you know, technology should follow the law. So in essence, EGP was just supposed to automate what is already in the Act, the Procurement Act, and the procurement regulations. So my question to you as a person who procured the EGP, what instructions did you give the developers or when you were tendering? Was it supposed to follow the law or the law was supposed to follow it? What exact instructions did you give this developer? And if you gave the instructions, is EGP following the law and the regulations? So it is important that you make that clear. So that is as the person who procured it. And you can also talk about it as the director of Procurement Directorate. And then, you know, right now we are facing a challenge, and we need clarity, it's important. We have EGP being implemented, and then we have this court case that has suspended the National Treasury Circular and PPRA Circular on EGP, you know, having EGP as the only way of procuring. As the director in Treasury Procurement, what would you tell these procurement professionals to do? It should be clear. What should they do? And PPRA should also talk. PPRA, compliance. What should these people do? There is that court order. What are we supposed to do right now? And then, to Kanyini Lawrence. You know, I've seen 55 contracts. We are seeing another 55 from Murang'a coming, I think, end of the year, and maybe some other 55s. I don't know from the last 2 quarters, if we were using manual and EGP, how many we would be having in normal circumstances. How many contracts would we be having? How many procurements would we have concluded? We are looking at public service, and you know, we are buying public goods and services. And Mheshimiwa is here. Mheshimiwa is here. Maybe he can also comment on this. His constituents probably are asking him, why are we not getting services? Why are we not getting goods? I'm sure he's tongue-tied. Lawrence, from where you stand, technology should ensure that we have efficiency. And I saw Alex Odanga talk about, it takes 30 days even cancellation of some of these things. From where you stand, is this technology, is it promoting efficiency or is it promoting deficiency? From where you stand. And from project implementation perspective, how would you rate the implementation, the way we have implemented this or the way we are implementing it in terms of 1 to 10? I thank you for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you, KK. Yes, Director Ruto.
I have the mic.
Yes.
Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening.
My name is Charles Ruto, Procurement, Head of Procurement, the Eldoret National Polytechnic. Now, I want to echo the sentiments of my brother here, but appreciate the fact that it's true, this technology is there. It's working to some extent. I'm seeing the ladies, friends of mine here, Akina Yvonne. I was in Treasury for almost 1 week trying to correct an error. The error was very interesting. I uploaded the budget, the institution's budget, using my own account erroneously. That took me all the way to Treasury. Those are flexibilities, and those are things that should be controlled, so that I'm not able to undertake an assignment that somebody else owes to have undertaken. We have successfully awarded 3 contracts, and I'm seeking your guidance on how to proceed with payment from there. Number 2, annual procurement plans. The flexibility of amending a procurement plan. How does an organization go about amending a procurement plan? Because remember, when we were preparing this plan, definitely we were coupled up with the issues of time and all that. So clearly we need amendments. How do we proceed doing amendments of procurement plans?
Thank you very much. Any other?
Thank you.
Yes,
so if I can just offer my views as well, and thank you to the presenters. My name is Marianne Karanja. I am speaking from a private sector standpoint, but I'd like to start by giving a different view, because my colleague KK said technology must follow did you say regulation or law? Yeah, but we are talking, I think we're restricting ourselves to this current EGP implementation. But globally, technology does not necessarily follow law. So if I was putting on my private sector lens with that, then M-Pesa would never have arisen. There'd be no innovation if you're thinking that way. But coming back to therefore my piece on the adoption of a technology, first a comment to the EGP implementation, because it appears that a lot of the questions that are being raised are linked to change management. So perhaps you could speak to generally whether there's a robust change management process that is being undertaken. And it will take time, so we recognize that, colleagues. But it's also to say, how do we make sure that people have a support when they require it and on time? and if there's possibility of them using certain tech tools or applications, if those can be deployed so that they can also understand how to use them. Now, coming back to my question on AI, and you had a wonderful presentation on where the AI use cases can be deployed. My question is, why not now? Because if you're saying the bit on item master, it could help you in terms of accelerating the deployment and some of the challenges that they are facing. So why not now, at the point of implementing and rolling out the EGP? And then to Bwana Shikoli, because he appears to be an expert, is to say, can we also hear of the implementation of AI in government use cases globally? Because I'm aware there were some in countries such as Canada, I think the UK and Germany, and to say what are the lessons that we can pick from those sort of implementations to support the implementation of the same in Kenya as we roll out the EGP. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question? Yes, that end.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Ian Masidza. I just want to ride on Marianne's question and just add, Bwana Lawrence, in your presentation, you alluded to the fact that there is a next version. So probably just enumerate when is this next version coming, because these things we are implementing them now, not in the future.
Thank you for the good question. Who has the mic? We have some question that end. Let me ask, we have all been trained on EGP? Yes, right? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Dan Kitua from Makueni. And maybe I can speak on behalf of the counties. My question is, I'm sending my question to Lawrence Anyinyi, the project manager. Counties are in remote areas, most of the counties, except the counties in the cities. So what are you doing to support the counties? Because you find that if you have a problem, you have to go to Nairobi, or you have to make a call to Nairobi. Is it possible that we have support desks on each and every county for the county governments, the assemblies, and also the TVETs and other public institutions down there? Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We have, okay, Andrew and then her.
Okay, Andrew Ashena is my name. Mine is to Lawrence. In my previous life, what Marianne has just observed, one of the challenges we had with the bank, the reason why M-Pesa hit us was how to initiate a withdrawal. You know, you must always have a slip. So from my experience, what I realized, when you're implementing a system, sometimes you might need to, it has to be upside down on the process that you have. So one of the challenges we are having in the public sector is we need the legislation to run alongside the changes, because sometimes when you implement the systems, you find that you totally change your workflows. And you can see that's how M-Pesa hit us as the banks, because if you come to the counter, do you say I want 5,000 or 50? But when you go to M-Pesa, you see you initiate, withdraw from agent, and that workflow is what was defeating us. So what I'm requesting, Lawrence, is to help us make sure that as we are going to EGP, the legislation alongside keeps on changing at the same time. Otherwise, we are going to try and fix an automated system in our straitjacket procurement. So, Lawrence, please help us on that.
Thank you very much. We can get
Thank you, Fidel. And thank you, presenters. And as usual, the issue is on EGP. But I want to echo the words of Kitinya that we are supporting EGP as procurement professionals. We'll not get tired. Fidel will keep repeating so that we don't get to hear those media accusations that the reason why EGP is here is to help in the paper placking of bid documents by procurement professionals. No, we are supporting EGP. So the questions I have, Wambaya and Kanyinyi, EGP was piloted for 1 year. Where are we repiloting? If it was piloted, I assume it worked. But now we are in a state where we piloted, and even the institutions that were used to pilot, now they are back to manual. Have you seen the MyGov advertisements? Simuniunga mkono kama mumeona. Yes, and they were used in the pilot stage. And I am a believer of the truth. If something is not working, let's own up and say we need to fix 1, 2, 3 things. And the moment we fix that one, we move on. So I will want a report on what happened at the pilot stage. Then number 2, the essence of public procurement, Wanjiko. It is efficient delivery of service to the people of Kenya. But now we have reduced it, public procurement, to efficient compliance to the law. We are now in the second quarter, and the only thing we can answer is how much have I complied to EGP? But I cannot answer, have I supplied drugs to the hospitals? I think we need to sit down and talk. And we reason together and ask ourselves, do we really need the public suffering because of implementation of this process? And you may have to allow some of the processes to continue manually as we work on the system, not as we withdraw the system. Kindly note. So even as we address some of these things, statistics, Kanyinyi, you have given us of 50 tenders, and I have had these questions. Really 50 tenders for more than 50 contracts for more than 10,000 PEs. It tells you there is a problem. Let's sit and resolve this problem. Tell me what to do with my non-responsive tenders, and when I go to the support team, iko tu. We will work on it. We will work on it. I will be glad. The issue of disposal plan, Wambaya, you want me to document ile gari nilipata kwa serikali, unajua ile skrebo, hiyo yenye nilipata imevunjika hapo kwa public, kwa polisi. I should document the year it was bought, the value of that asset. Some of these things, please, let's review some of the requirements in this. And that is what has made disposal plan, difficult for most of the institution. The last question I have heard about the review of the procurement plan. I will not repeat. It has become challenging to review. The last question I will want to hear. We want to support the local people. That is what we have been talking about the whole week. Then we went and borrowed the item codes, the UNSPC code. So ile bulb yenye tunatumia kwa nyumba inaitwa incandescent. Incandescent light. So you send this to Mama Mboga, that is your Agopo team, that you want them to supply to you incandescent lamp. Because we had to use a UN document. Come on. We need to review. Yes, we are going global, but that item description is not favoring. The other hand wants to support the local people. The other hand is describing incandescent lighting. And even as we conclude, Wambaya Niambie, we have our ERPs. We all listened to our internal auditor, Nancy Gadongo. She's coming with an audit query. You implemented ERP Phyllis. You spent millions. Midway, you jumped and left it and went to EGP. That was wastage of public funds. When are you planning to link with our existing ERPs? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether they first respond to those questions. Is that okay? But there was a rejoinder from KK. We can give the mic to KK. Is there? And then we'll allow them to respond to those questions.
Thank you very much, CM Fidel. CM Marianne had said something that, and I like the fact that she said she comes from the private sector, that some technology does not have to follow the law. Now, from legal perspective, let me just put it clear. Public procurement involves procuring public goods and services, and we are using public resources. And therefore, there must be a legal framework, and in this case, the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act, and then we have the regulations. And if you want to know the importance of this, the members of Parliament have to come up with this document called Public Procurement Act. They have to look at it, approve it, and it gets passed all the way to the President. And so there's a reason why the members of Parliament, in their wisdom, they say, when evaluating, you need to do this. These people have to be involved. When you are doing this stage, it has to be like that. And the regulations as well, it has to be approved. There's a reason for that. So when you are now coming up with the technology should not contravene what the MPs approved. It should follow what they, because there's a reason why they approved it the way they approved it. So I just wanted to make that clarity. Yeah, and even right now, we are being told that this system will be the single system for public procurement. Then we have now that professionals will still be expected to be submitting some reports to the public information portal, procurement by PPI. Even PPRA should clarify. Do we still need to submit those reports? Do we really have one system? That kind of a thing.
Thank you. Thank you. And then there is a text here. Somebody feels that, because the question is, Mheshimiwa, how have you been spending your CDF money, whether you are using EGP or otherwise? And then there is also a comment that there was a feeling, now that you are a legislator, you could probably join the team, because I think you can join the team here, Mheshimiwa. We will not ask you tough questions. I'm only a moderator. So we can, as Mheshimiwa settles, we can get responses. Am I your consulting? You can, the responses are ready? Good. Now you're in round one too.
Thank you, CM Fidel. And the panel, my colleagues for the concerns raised. Maybe as part of the housekeeping, I'll want to give the perspective under which we made the decision to automate these processes. There's a narrative that because of the distress from the Bretton Woods institutions, then the government has been forced into this. The truth of the matter is that already we have been having attempts to automate our processes through the EGP, the IFMIS platform. What happened was that the IFMIS platform was not giving us the end-to-end solution to our procurement processes. And we have been having that conversation in all different forums for whenever procurement professionals met. That is actually, it was our request that then led us to involvement into having end-to-end system, and that is what gave birth to the EGP. It has nothing to do with the pressure from the World Bank funding and all that. Now, to understand where we're coming from, there had been a lot of resistance for us to have the system in place. Resistance from business interests, resistance from even getting the platform from our counterparts, the accountants, to have our own platform to manage our own issues. Now, come I think around 2022, we had to make a decision, and with the support and goodwill from the leadership treasury then, we decided to have it go. We advertised for the tender, I think, in 2022. And I'll tell you, even by the time I advertised this tender, before the tender closed, the resistance which was there, the clarifications, the concerns which were raised, it was those concerns were for the purpose of stalling the process. Lucky enough, I was in the driver's seat. I made sure we had to deliver this. The baby was born, and there we are. We have to implement it. Now, we accept and appreciate that indeed there are areas which maybe we could have done better. For any change of this magnitude, this system is able to control. We are going to onboard about 33,000 PEs when we go up to the schools. The magnitude of the system, having developed that system with that environment, then calls for expectation of challenges that will come with it ordinarily. The first challenge we had when we tried to implement, this system was supposed to be implemented within 18 months. 18 months was the contract period. When we started implementing the system, there were budgetary cuts that now, year after year, we could not get enough support to enable the developer proceed with the implementation of the system. You remember in each and every budget speech, from the time I think PSES Yatani, the last years, even up to the Kenya Kwanza government, we have been making commitments to have this system in place as part of the fiduciary management of our resources. Every year in, year out, we get to commit that we are doing, and then we don't get the budget. Then now, 3 years down, in the Kenya Kwanza government, the executive made the decision that we have to automate the process and we must implement the EGP. Remember, we had our plan of implementation, which was part engraved in the contract. It was not done over this period of time. The team at the Treasury were only able to do what they could do with the available budget then. Then we are told we have to roll out this system within this timelines. And there is where we are. And from where I sit, we must also appreciate the team actually which is working there. We have to go. Being a civil service, instructions have been given. We have to fit into the timelines given, and that is what we have been struggling to achieve. Now, of course, how then prepared were we to implement this system within the timeline, the condensed timeline, as per the guidance from the executive? There are things which we had to put in place. Some I'll accept and admit we have not been able to meet the threshold and basically the best practices. Now, when that directive was issued, remember, communication was done. We have to get this thing up and running. So we assemble all the resources, the tools available to start going. When we start implementing the system, ordinarily in that scenario, you find that there will be hits and misses. Marianne here has said about the change management. Have we prepared our team that we are now changing from here and here? And remember, there are some people who may feel application of the system may be bidding some interest, both from the commercial aspect and even maybe people who are supposed to make it happen. That was not done at that time, but I can assure you, we have now a very robust plan in place. I can confirm that what Fidel was alluding to, the issue of also training on the part of the people who are supporting us, the procurement professionals, we have had to do with what we have been doing. But I can confirm, I talked to the director this morning, when I was pulled in to join and support the team. It was part of that capacity building. And immediately what I've done is to put in place a concept note for capacity building, onboarding consultants, which I think will be tendering, the director told me in the course of next week, just to enhance capacity with our TOTs, so that we are able then to reach most of the PEs and to properly train and capacitate the teams which are there that are involved in the supply chain. The PM will maybe confirm this at a later stage. You will find that most of the system issues that we are handling, majority have to do with the development, and other issues have to do with the users. How well we have prepared you people to engage with the system. You know, the generating of those errors mostly comes after we are making a wrong application in the system. Then because of the encryption, too many in the system, then decrease that error, then we have to go back to redo it, which takes time. So we are on top of it. In fact, the PM will confirm, as we sit here today, I can confirm to you, without blinking an eye, that come January, before January, we want to take advantage of this holiday period. We are going to have a seamless working system with very minimum interruptions. We have in place interventions, including what you told about the developer coming. They are sending a team of developers to come and now support us here as we navigate these challenges up to the time we stabilize before they are released back to their place. Wakili KK, I think you raised the issue of the legal and project management issues, especially that should technology follow the law, or is the other way around? Unless there are other specific issues, because the issues which were brought up, I think, were to do with the tender opening and the evaluation of the mandatory conditions. We take note of that. We have already engaged with the project management team and the developers to resolve that. There's those areas some little areas which appear like they are conflicting in the law, and the fear was that it may then put the practitioners exposed to audit queries. We've taken note of that, and we are addressing those issues, Wakili. Then the issue of how many contracts, ordinarily, from my experience, and I stand to be corrected, what is happening and what we are seeing, there's the new contracts which are now being onboarded on the EGP platform. We are aware there was a directive from the National Treasury on how to manage pending bills, which were then to be procured on the IFMIS platform. Ordinarily, from the period of July to around September, October, from my experience, that period has been the period of paying the pending bills. So we might be late. I'll confirm that, but the situation might not be as scary as projected, because I'm assuming most of the entities are able to do their process, especially the pending bills, which are, as per the law, forms the first charge for NAPE. The actual procurement from where I sit actually kicks in around this time. Now, with this confirmation by the PM that come January will be seamless, I'm seeing a delay of execution of procurements for a period of, say, that 1 month between maybe October, November, December. So we pray that that will happen so that we get the country moving. I think the issue of technology I've covered it. What I've not covered, I think my colleague here will be able to support. The issue of remote areas, support for the remote areas, done from Makueni. Dan, the PM said we have a help desk system, which we are integrating to be able to receive the complaints and address them. But I have said again, for the matters of capacity building and training, we are going to onboard consultants. I think we are working with KISIM, we are working with the PPRA to get consultants so that it's a framework kind of agreement. They'll be loaded and be given opportunity to be training and capacity building in those different regions. That will also be able to support us on the capacity issues. EGP piloting, I think Kanyinyi will be able to deal with that. Tender and responsiveness, there are two issues of when you are bidding and you don't get any response. And there's an issue of bidding and getting bids which are non-responsive. What we are trying to address is that if you bid and you don't get any response, the system should be able to allow you to terminate at that place, then revert back to start the process. So for those who, when you proceed and the bids are not responsive, of course, as per the law, you'll have to proceed to get the approval of the accounting officer. Disposal plans, the PM has confirmed here, the tables have been amended. It's going to be user-friendly so that for the purpose of making progress, if you don't get that information about the value, the original value and the age, the table should be able to allow you to acknowledge that and move forward. On the matter of integration again, with other ERPs, I think the PM would be better placed to brief us on that. But what I know, the integration is ongoing. There's integration with the budget part, and there's also integration on the part of the payment, which is ongoing. The PM can give us the highlights of where we are at the moment. So I think I've attempted to cover what was asked.
Thank you. Thank you, Kitui. I think you have answered most of the questions, but I have a couple of clarifications that I may need to make, and more so is that you have put the perspective of how the project came to be, and also the various challenges, and more so in terms of the directives that that were given in terms of the use of the EGP system. But having said that, is one of which is very key is on the support, which it has been mentioned that we are taking a long time to solve the issue of the support. It's taking 1 week that one person has to move from a county that is remote and come to the National Treasury for maybe changing of amendment, and also issues on the plans, procurement plan. I agree this should not be the case, and we agree that in terms of what we are doing, that is that we have already started to use a help desk system, and this help desk system is we want the users to from where they are, they can send an email, and that one is ticketed, and then from the ticket you can also be able to monitor the process of how that support is going. We also note that from the start, we're looking at approximately 1,500 entities that have already been registered in the EGP system.
Out of that, we are having almost half of them making some queries on EGP system on a daily basis. So it is for us now to be able to manage this support, and also at the same time work with the service provider, because what we have witnessed is, and this also touches on the change management, is that our users are also not very familiar with the systems. Once an error is done within the EGP system, it also takes a bit of time for us to correct that error. So that turnaround is what we are managing, and we believe that, and I mentioned that the PS also committed that they will also be looking at the contract that we have with the service provider, because there's also key areas that was mentioned that there is need to have the service providers within the country who will be able to manage and also provide support internally. We believe that this should be able to be managed and have improved turnaround time. The other issue was mentioned is why are we not using AI right now, and why are we waiting for another version? And as I mentioned, one of the key item for AI, the prerequisite is data. If you don't have that data, it may take time, unless now we are saying that we are going to have the public facing the AI. So for us to be able to manage, also correct this data, specifically tailored for government, we may need to take a bit of time. And remember, as we are speaking right now, you note that various government entities have segregated data, and in terms of procurement, we may not be having that data all corrected in a single system. So as we move, and also as we analyze and have identified, remember also this is something that follows the procurement processes. At the start of this, the AI was not something that had been foreseen. So now is the time that we've seen the key areas that need to be identified. And we believe, and that is the reason why we are saying the next version, or the improvements, essentially, not that I have a date for the next version, or the improvements, definitely, we know that there will be improvements of the system. Those are some of the areas that we need to have them as requirement. On areas of pilot, and where is the pilot report, I think here, Kitui has given the perspective, is that the system also, if you look at the system, the EGP system, it also has almost 16 modules for a start. That is only phase 1. And all these were tested. It is not that it was not tested. We went through the whole testing, and the reports for testings, especially for the pilots, they are there. But having such a system also, it calls for some of the changes. Some of them, we are noting that the process may be bigger than, there are several processes that need to be minimized, right? So to also collect some of the areas that may have passed through the piloting stage. But the piloting was done. 12 of the entities, all these entities came from key government parastatals, also county governments, hospitals, and we did a very good test in terms of the system. In regard to the UNSPSC code, we have a UNSPSC, and we did a process of what we said, localizing the UNSPSC item master. The item master, as is, it's a very important tool when it comes to the EGP system, having categorization of all the items, because it is the one that is going to assist us, especially on the downstream, when we talk about price analysis. That is where the item master will assist us. But the idea here, or the question was, how are we localizing this? We already have an item master, but we did hold that item master because we also received so many other items. We received items from the Kenya National Hospital, from KPA. Also many entities also brought their item masters and needed to be analyzed and now packaged in one, reviewed and also localized and mapping all that to the now UNSPSC code. So we believe in time we'll be able to have now a localized item master. The UNSPSC is just for the standardization, and that should be able within a time to implement now what we have, which is not yet uploaded in the EGP system, but it will be uploaded and have a localized item master. And lastly is on the issue of integration. We note that this has taken time, especially for integration for the state corporations and county governments, which are the entities that are using IFMIS. This is also work in progress. As I mentioned earlier, the National Treasury will be issued guidelines in terms of how payment shall be done. In terms of ERP integration, this is also a process that will require a lot of discussions with the various state corporations, so that we can have a standardized way and also a specific integration gateway that can be able to manage all these integration. So part of this is also work in progress. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I will now speak like an elected leader, not a practitioner. And I think KK did it intentionally, Wakili, so that I get on this side of the panel. Now, if the people who elected us are suffering, medicines are not delivered on time, basic needs are not delivered on time, then we say there's something seriously wrong. I was called in an implementation committee meeting where Waziri Mbadi was in, CS Finance. And this is what I said. We had just caused a revolution within our procurement system. The intention was to make change, to create change, but because of the speed and the unpreparedness, we had caused a revolution. And I also said, in our constitution, you can run still with the EGP, but you can also run it manually. Today, the road sector, Kera, Kura, Kenha, including Kengen, who have been allowed to use their own system because they had a more advanced system, their things are moving. Now, I still ask the same question, which I also asked when we were in Mombasa last, in this forum. And the question was, if the pilot was done, was it properly done? Why are there so many bottlenecks? Secondly, within the sector, we need to benchmark. Which other country did we benchmark with before we came up with this system? And thirdly, why only procurement? Because it's government driven. Why only procurement? Why not an integrated system that includes other areas, like an example, HR? There's a lot of wastage in our HR today. We are not sure if the actual numbers of public servants, we are told, are in there. So why didn't we come up with an integrated system that captures the entire expenditure from budgeting to procurement to hiring, so that we have an integrated system? So to answer Wakili's question, KK, most of the funds for CDF, which is managed by the CDF committees, was spent before June. There is the new cycle that is coming in. And from that cycle, I can tell you, priority is service delivery. Where EGP will not work, there'll be the alternative, like what we are seeing Kura do, Kera, Kenha, and many other agencies, because the services must be delivered. Now, the other issue is where I sit. We are already having a crisis with the entities running, from June, July, or July, June, financial calendars. Now, how are we going to handle entities running January, December calendar? Now, what has PPRA and the National Treasury done to mitigate further crisis? Because I see another crisis coming. And especially as they release also the CDF and going down to the field, wanting services to be delivered, I see more and more noise. And my thinking, I have implemented systems before at the International Committee of the Red Cross, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, ICPE, AMREF, where I was head of supplies. What is critical is to run a pilot with selected areas. We would have picked a few stable counties, proper internet, where we can also have a quick access desk driven by our treasury comrades, so that we can do that. Once it is okay and we know which are the bottlenecks, then now we can go for a full blown out rollout. But what I read again politically, I know there's been pressure from the Bretton Woods, the donor, to have this system roll out. But it would have been good to do that also while benchmarking with other countries that have done this successfully. Now, lastly, on compliance, we take advantage of implementation of the EGP. EGP must work. Don't get me wrong. But let's also learn a lesson in the future, especially the colleagues in the private sector. I know you're also going to want to upgrade or come up with new systems, but these should be lessons learned. Proper planning, moderate piloting and rollout, and fixing the bottlenecks before moving out. Now, on compliance, how is the National Treasury going to support KISIM in eliminating quacks using the EGPs? I know there's been a proposal to have the number of comrades who are registered embedded in there with features, you know, for registration and licensing, so that for you to be allowed to use EGP to procure, you must be a practitioner, recognized, having signed the code of conduct. Thank you.
Hebu tuwapigie makofi tena. EGP is a session that I think we can most likely we should have it for like a whole day, isn't it? I want to give him an opportunity to give the closing remarks, but yes, thank you. So I know it is a debate that we can have for a long time, and I'm being told we need to manage our time very, very well. So I want to ask Mr. Shikoli to make his comments, please.
So it's funny that EGP has mixed up with AI, but I think you mentioned the issue of government. I think in France, right now, if you build a swimming pool, the government comes and tells you, we know you've built a swimming pool, because they're using AI. They just have maps up there that check. If you go to immigration in the US, I think they have an AI agent similar to what I talked to earlier on, the immigration service. I think they call it Emma. I need to check. But Emma answers all the immigration questions you have. So by the time you get to talk to a real person, you really have a deep problem that needs to be looked at. So governments are adopting AI across the world. And for me, I think this year has been that year where people are testing. Next year, I will not be surprised if we have a flood of AI everywhere, both in private and in government. Yeah.
Thank you very much. As I said earlier, we need to manage our time very well. So I think I'm being told all the other questions, if there are any other questions, they will be responded to tomorrow in the morning. That is what I'm being told. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Back to the MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round, hearty, warm applause to this wonderful gentleman here, our moderator, CM Fidel, Mheshimiwa Bisau, Bwana Shikoli, vile Bwana Lawrence, and also Mr. Kitui. We really appreciate you. I'd like to invite CM Marianne to come and do a brief presentation for our speakers here today. Najua Mheshimiwa Bisau, we had already presented him with a token of appreciation. We could do that for Mr. Shikoli and also Lawrence and Bwana Kitui. Yeah, asante.
As we are doing that, allow me to really appreciate each one of you for your patience. I can see it's full house. I know the issue of EGP and PPADA, we have not given it sufficient time, but I'd like to ask my CEO just to come and say a word or two as we close this session of EGP. Karibu Bwana CEO. Yeah, yeah. Give the gifts first. Yeah. No,
So, thank you. The council member is reminding me on the question that was asked, what we are doing in terms of the county and ensuring that we are able to handle the county, the remote counties that can be able to have their own desk there. So one of the things that we are doing is that next week we are having a training in Mombasa that includes a county executive and also county assembly. One member who will be trained as a TOT of the EGP system, and this will be done for a whole month. This month 2 weeks, and January also 2 weeks, and then we'll be able to now create the desks that they can get the support within the county. Asante.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. CM Marianne presenting a token of appreciation to Bwana Kitui. And then CM Fidel presenting a token of appreciation to Lawrence. And then finally our chair presenting a token of appreciation to Bwana Shikoli. Thank you very much. May we pause for photographs just briefly before our CEO makes a very brief announcement. Thank you.
Please, in the interest of time, CM Fidel, Mheshimiwa, we can exchange contacts downstairs. CM Fidel, wacha kusikiza ground. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening one more time. I think we are gearing up for the dinner and the cocktail. And I just want to take this chance to thank all of us for the resilience and commitment and patience as we serve you, as we engage you, as we get your feedback. But in the process, it is also important for us as an institute to take position when it comes to certain issues. I've heard the submissions that have been made here, very progressive. Some of them also require clarity. For instance, Bwana Kitui, what you have talked about in regards to capacity building and the need to accredit or have private consultants engage in capacity building, our position as an institute is that that matter requires a discussion with the National Treasury and PPRA. Why that is important is because we need to build strong institutions across the chain, and we also ought to safeguard the mandate of institutions in the discharge of their responsibilities. The issue of capacity building is a matter that is cross-cutting. We have a mandate as KISM, and I don't think when it comes to EGP issues, the issue is on trainings as a gap. I think the challenge that we have is on the functionality of the system and whether it is working optimally as required. So that is a matter that we will be discussing with you so that we get it right from the word go as we move forward. The second point that I want to make, just drawing congruence and nexus with the conversations we have been having on the pending bills issue, is the salient consideration of the fact that we also need to consider the accrual accounting regime change, so that we spend resources based on revenues that we have, not commitment based on anticipation of budgets. So in terms of policy shift, again, that's a matter that we will be engaging with the relevant institutions to ensure that it is done. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the KISI management, we sincerely thank you. We trust that tomorrow will be better. We will be starting with the CEO of ESCC, and we will be keeping time. So we request that we enjoy ourselves sparingly in the evening, noting that tomorrow will be a better day. Thank you very much, and I now hand it over back to Nimrod. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana CEO. And I'd like to profusely apologize to my good friend, my Kenyan friend from Zambia, Bwana Joseph Kalaluka. If I let you speak now,